Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper 2-1 of October-November 2014. So let's move on to question number 1 and see what do we have. So the table shows some of the nutritional information for a 300-gram tin of soup. Now these are the information. This is carbs, fat, fiber and sodium. So part 1, what percentage of the 300 grams of the soup is carbohydrate? So pretty easy. So we take the mass of the carbs, that will be 18 grams over 300 times 100. That will be, let's check, 18 divided by 300 times 100, that will be 6%. So 6% will be carbs. Now for part 2, it says what fraction of the 300 gram tin of soup is fiber? So fiber is 0.6. So 0.6 over 300. So we can just do this. We can just take 0.6 over 300, simplify. That will be 1 over. So it's in this form. So it's 0.002. But we have to express it as a fraction. So let's see, fraction, that will be 1 over 100. 1 over 500. Now next one, let's see. So part 3, of the carbohydrates, 15% are sugars. How many grams of sugars are in 1 tin of soup? So of the carbs, so we have 18 grams of carbs. In this, 15% are sugars. So times 15%, that will be what? So 18 times 0.15, that will be 2.7. So 2.7 grams are sugars. Okay, and what else? What we have? So it says I need this much of soup. Now, how many 300 gram tins of soup do I need to buy? So 25 divided by 300. You will have what? So 2500 divided by 300. That will be 8.33. So you will have to buy 9 tin of soup, so you can have at least this much. Now for part C, it says during March there's a special promotion and the soup is on sale in tins containing 20% extra. So initially it has 300 grams for the soup. Now if it has 20% extra, that will be 1.2 times 300, that will be 360. Now the weight of the tin is 360 grams for the promotion. So part 1, these tins of soup each contain 4.2 grams of protein. How much protein was contained in each of the original this much soup? So let's find out. Because this one is 360, so 360 grams has 4.2 grams of protein. Initially it is 300 grams, that will be 4.2 divided by 360 times 300. So let's do that. 4.2 divided by 360 times 300. That will be 3.5. So initially it has 3.5 grams of protein. Now part 2, the special promotion tin costs $0.8. The soup can be bought in a larger tins containing 500 grams for $1.12. Is it better value to buy the 500 tin or the special promotion tin? So the special promotion tin is 360, as you can see, 360. So basically now we have two information. The first one, it says, do you want to buy a 360 grams tin for 0.8, or do you want to buy a 500 gram for 1.12? So let's see what is the cost for 1 gram here. That will be 0.8 divided by 360. That should be what? 0.8 divided by 360. That should be 1 over 450, which is about 0.00222. Right. Now for this one, what is the price for 1 gram? 1 gram will be 1.12 divided by 500. So 1.12 divided by 500, that will be 0.00224. As you can see, the price for 1 gram here is higher than the price for 1 gram here. So in this case, this one will be the better value. So you would say the special promo has better value because you found the price for each gram. So for this one, the gram costs 0.00224. This one, the costs 0.00222. It is less than this one. This one has better value for the price you're paying. That is question number 1. Let's move on to question number 2. Hendrik travels by plane from London to Bangkok. When it is 4 o'clock local time in London, it is 10 o'clock local time in Bangkok. As you can see, there will be a difference of 6 hours between those two. So London to Bangkok have to be plus 6 hours. Right. Now part 1. The flight takes 11 hours and 15 minutes. If he leaves London at 21:50 local time, what is the local time in Bangkok when he arrives? So first you have to find the local time when he arrives. So 21:50 plus 11:15, that will be 5, 6 will be 0, that will be 1, that should be 3, and this is 0, this is 3. 33.05. So now you have to minus 24 because that's 1 day. That will be 0.5, and then that will be so that will be 9. So 10, 6, 9. So the time in London when he arrives will be 9:05. Now plus the 6 hours difference, that will give me 15:05. The time in Bangkok will be 15:05 when he arrives at the airport. 15:05. Now part B. On his return journey, Hendrik leaves Bangkok at 7:45 local time and arrives back in London on the same day at 13:40. How long was his return flight? So first you have to check what was the local time in Bangkok. So local time in Bangkok will be plus 6 hours, that will be so plus 6, that will be 1940. So the length of flight will be 1940 minus 7:45. That will be 3:10, that will be 5. This will be 8, that will be 6. 6 minus 4 is 2, that will be 5. This will be 1 and 1. So the flight time will be 11 hours and 55 minutes. Now part C. We have the graph opposite shows the exchange rate between pounds and Thai baht on the day Hendrik arrives in Bangkok. Use the graph to estimate the cost of pounds of an item costing 13,000 baht. So we have to use this graph. So let's see where is 13,000 baht. It will be between somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000. That will be 11, 12, 13. That will be right here. And the corresponding value will be here as well. So for me it shows to be about, this will be 100. This is 20, 40. That will be 60, 80. So 280 pounds. According to my graph, it is 280 pounds. Now part 2. The exchange rate can be written as this to this. Find the value of K. So let's write this down. Basically 280. So we use this value here equal to 13,000 this. Now for 1 pound, you have to divide by 280 on both sides. That will be 46.4. So your value of K, correct to 3SF, will be 46.4. So now moving on to part D of this question, we have the cost of flights from London to Bangkok is shown in this table right here. Now for this cost, passengers are allowed to take luggage up to the weight shown. Okay, so up to the weight shown here. Passengers taking more than this weight pay an excess charge at the rate shown. This is the excess, and this is the weight that they are allowed to take with them. Now calculate the total cost of Hendrik flying economy class, which is this one, from London to Bangkok. So London to Bangkok, that's the cost, with luggage weighing 29 kilograms. So the ticket will cost, so the cost will be, first is the ticket, which is 683, plus the luggage cost. So he's allowed to bring 23, but anything above 23 will be extra. So he brings 29, so 29 minus 23 times 24 pounds for anything extra. So let's see what is the answer here. So we have 683 plus, this will be 6 times 24, that will be 827. So he will pay 827 pounds for his flight from London to Bangkok. And that's it for this question. So part 1, we have complete the table below for this graph. So what is the value of y for x equal to minus 4? That will be minus 4 square, 16, plus 8 minus 8. That will be 16. And for this one, that will be 6 square, 36, minus 12 minus 8. That will be 16 as well. So now let's just plot the graph. So we have minus 416. Minus 416 will be well. So here we have 1, so basically 2 squared is equal to 1. Now for 16 it will be on this point. Now we have minus 3, 7, so 6, 7 will be here. Then we have minus 2, 0 will be here. Then we have minus 1, minus 5 will be on the bottom. Then we have 0 minus 8, that will be 6, 7, 8. Then we have 1 minus 9, he will be right here. Then we have 2 minus 8, should be this one. And then what else do we have? We have 3 minus 5, that will be here. And then we have 4, 0, that will be here. And then we have 5, 7, 6, and then we have 6, 16. That will be right here. So all these points, as you can see, let's join them together. So this one, so try your best to make a smooth curve, because your answers following the question depend on how good your curve is. So make sure you try your best to draw a smooth curve, joining all the points together. So here we go, this one joined to this one. Okay, so almost done. Alright, so this is my curve of y equal to x squared minus 2x minus 8. Okay, so let's move on to question number 2 here. Use a graph to solve this equation. This is y equal to 2, so let's draw this line. So y equal to 2 will be right here. So as you can see, it cuts the curve at 2 points. One point is this one, and one point is this one. So this one is what? This one is 4.4, and this one is minus 2.4. So two values will be minus 2.4 and 4.4. Now part 3, by drawing a tangent, estimate the gradient at this point, 3 minus 5. So 3 minus 5 is this. So let's draw a tangent to this point. It should be about this. So I have one point here, which is 6, 6, and I have 1 point, this one, that will be 2 minus 9. So let's find the gradient with those 2 points. So gradient will be y2 minus y1, so 6 minus minus 9, divided by x2, 6 minus x1. That will be 15 divided by 4. That is 3.75. So 3.75 will be the value for my gradient according to my line that is drawn here. So let's see what else. So part B, solve the equation algebraically, giving you answers correct to 2 decimal places. So whenever you see that, you have to use the formula. So A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1, C is equal to minus 9. X will be minus B plus minus square root of B squared, which is 1, minus 4 times A times C, divided by 2A, which is 2. Now if you simplify, it will be minus 1 plus minus. So 1 minus minus plus 36, that will be 37 divided by 2. The first value will be minus 1 minus 37 divided by 2, or X will be minus 1 plus 37 divided by 2. So minus 1 minus root of 37 divided by 2 will be minus 3.54, or X will be minus 1 plus square root of 37 divided by 2. That will be 2.54. So we have two values. First one is minus 3.54 and then 2.54, correct to 2 dp. Now part C, the x-coordinate of the intersection of the line L and the curve are solved by this equation. Find the equation of the line L. So pretty easy. Y is equal to this, and the intersection is equal to this. So let's do something. Let's solve these two equations simultaneously to find the equation of the line L. So let's make this one. So we have, let's make x squared the subject of formula. So x squared will be equal to y plus 2x plus 8. Now replace x squared in this one. You will have y plus 2x plus 8 plus x minus 9 equal to 0. Now simplify, you will have y plus 3x minus 1 equal to 0. So y becomes minus 3x plus 1. So this will be the equation of the line, which is y equal to 1 minus 3x. Okay, that is question number 3. Moving on to question number 4. Here we can see we have a histogram, and this is the frequency density. It represents the masses in grams of apples in a box. Now question part 1 is to find the values of P and Q. So P is here, Q is here. So we have to find these using the histogram. So the group for P is 95 to 100. So 95 is this, and 100 is here. So the value of FD, which is the frequency density, is here, which is 2.4. And for this one, it is 100 to 102.5. The value of FD will be 6.4. Okay, so we have these two values for this two groups. So FD, which is the frequency density, for P it was given by 2.4. For this group, it is given by 6.4. Now, how do you find FD? The formula for FD is F divided by class width. So what is the class width here? The class width here is 5. So 100 minus 95 will be 5. And 102.5 minus 100, that will be 2.5. So we know that, so FD will be basically F frequency, which is P divided by 5 equal to this. And then Q divided by 2.5 equal to this. So you can cross multiply to find the value of P and Q. So P will be 5 times 2.4. That will be what? That will be 12 for the value of P. And value of Q will be 6.4 times 2.5. That will be 16. Okay, that will be the value of Q. Now part B, the masses of each plum in the box is recorded correct to the nearest 5 grams. So here we have to calculate an estimate for the mean mass of the plum. To find the mean, we have to find the sum of fx divided by number of plums, which is sum of the frequency. That will be 6 plus 18 plus 25 plus 10 plus 1. That will be 60. So divide by 60. That will be the formula for your mean mass. Now this is f for frequency. And what is the midpoint x? So let's find x. X will be the midpoint of those two. This one will be 12.5, 22.5, 32.5, 42.5, and we have 52.5. So what is fx? Fx will be 6 times 12.5, that will be 75. 18 times 22.5, that will be 405. 32.5 times 25, 812.5. 42.5 times 10, 425, and the last one 42, so same because it's 1. So now we add everything for the sum of fx. So 75 plus 45 plus 812.5 plus 425 and 52.5. That will be 1770. Now you have to divide by 60 to find the mean mass. That will be 29.5 for the estimate mean mass. So 29.5. Now for part 2, calculate the upper bound for the total mass of the plum in the box. So what is the upper bound for the total mass of the plum? So let's see. So to find the total mass, you first have to find the upper bound and times all the frequencies one by one. So what is the upper bound of the masses in this one? Correct to the nearest 5 grams. So nearest 5 grams, you always do 5 divided by 2. That will be 2.5. So 2.5, you add 2.5 or minus 2.5. That will be to find the upper and lower bound for the masses. Now here we have to do one by one because we have different frequencies for each groups. So for this one, we have to take the upper bound. The mass will be 15, but 15 have to plus will be 17.5. We have to find the upper bound. 25 plus 2.5 will be 27.5. Same thing here, 37.5, 47.5, and 57.5. That will be the max, the upper bound for the masses of each group. Now we have to multiply by 6 for the first one. So 17.5 times 6, that's for the first one, plus 27.5 times 18, then 37.5 times 25, then 47.5 times 10, then last one will be 57.5 times 1, which is same. Now equal to 2070 for the upper bound of the mass. So 2070 grams. So you have to show your work on how you did that. Basically, you have to show that you multiplied this by this, plus this by this, plus this by this, this by this, and this by this. Show your work in this section for these 2 marks. And this will be your answer. That will be question number 4. Now, question number 10, what do we have? We have a triangle ABC, and it shows AC equal to 14 and BC equal to 8. Part A showed that AB is equal to 19.5. So since we know these 2 sides and we know the angle in between, we can use the cosine rule. So cosine rule says cosine of 122.22 degrees equal to this side 14 square plus 8 square minus AB square divided by 2 times 14 times 8. So now you make AB square the subject of formula. It will be 2 times 14 times 8 times cos of 122 this, and then we have to send this one over here. It will be plus 14 square plus 8 square minus this one actually. Yeah. So AB square will be equal to what? Let's find out. So minus 2 times 14 times 8 cos of 122 plus 14 square plus 8 square. That will be 378.7. So AB will be square root of that. That will be 19.46, which is 19.5, correct to 3SF, shown. Now part B, find the angle ABC. So ABC, so find this angle here. We have to use the sine rule. So sine of angle, so sine of the angle ABC over the corresponding side, which is 14, equal to sine of the angle 122 over the corresponding side, which is 19.5. We just found that in part A. Now we make this one subject of formula, which is sine of ABC equal to 14 sine of 122 divided by 19.5. That will be 0.60885. Now for the angle, we have to do sine inverse of the answer. That will be 37.5. So that will be your angle for ABC. Now question number, so now moving on to part C, it says a rhombus of BDEC, so this is BDEC of area 52. So we have to use this information, and its sides of 8 centimeters is placed next to this triangle. So 8, it's going to be 8 as well, 8 and 8, because it is a rhombus. Now in this diagram, so question is to find what? Given that BCE, so BCE, this angle here, is obtuse. Obtuse means it is more than 90, but less than 180. So calculate the reflex angle ACE. So ACE. So reflex will be, reflex that is angle is more than 180 but less than 360. So what angle we need to find? We need to find this big angle here, reflex angle AC. So we have to find this angle C right here. So we have to use this information. It says the area of the triangle is 52. So if you cut this rhombus into half, you will see that it is just two triangles joined together. So if the area of the big one is 52, what is the area of this triangle? It will be 52 divided by 2. That will be 26. So area of one of the triangles will be 26, and this is also 26. So now how do you find area of a triangle? You will do half sine of the angle that we don't know times 8 equal to 26. Now let's find the angle C. So sine of C, that will be, so 26 times 2, right? So 26 times 2 divided by 64, that will be 0.8125. Now what is the value of angle C? Sine inverse of that angle, it will be 54.3. Now this is the angle C right here, which is 54.3. So you have to see that that is the this is acute, right? Because it is less than 90, it is acute angle. But it tells you that the angle here is obtuse, which is more than 90. As you know, for the values of sine, if sine is positive, it can be here or it can be here. So it has to be the obtuse angle, which is the other angle, which is 180 minus 54.3. That will be 125.7. So you will take this value, which is obtuse, because it tells you that the angle BEC is an obtuse angle. So the angle C here will be 125.7. Now the main question is to find the reflex angle ACE. Reflex angle will be this big one. So now you may ask, what is this angle? This is obtuse. It is not reflex. That's why we cannot use this value, but we have to find the reflex angle, which is this one right here, the big one. which is 122 plus 125.7. So let's write that down. So the reflex angle ACE will be 122 plus 125.7. That will be 247.7. Okay, so that will be your angle of reflex ACE. That is question number 9. I think number 9? Yep, number 9. Moving on to question number 6, we have f of x equal to 2x minus 7. Now have to find f of 3. So replace the value of x by 3, you will have basically 6 minus 7, which is minus 1. Now for this one, find f inverse. So you first let y equal to f of x, which is 2x minus 7. Now we have to make x become the subject of formula. That becomes x equal to y plus 7 divided by 2. So your answer will be, instead of y, we write x plus 7 divided by 2. Now for part C, find the value of g, given that this equal to this. So what is f of 3g? It is equal to 2 times 3g minus 7 equal to 6g minus 7 equal to g plus 4. So we send this one over here, you will have 6g minus g, 5g, equal to 11. G will be 11 divided by 5. So 11 divided by 5 will be your value of g. That's question number 6. Now question number 7. Let's solve this equation. So we have to find the value of x. So first thing first, cross multiply, you will have 4x equal to 3. So x will be 3 over 4, which is 0.75, or you can just write this as your answer. Now for part 2, we have to first expand, so 4y minus 6y minus 3 equal to 5. Now this 2, 4y minus 6y will be minus 2y. This becomes 5 plus 3, which is 8. Now y becomes 8 divided by minus 2, that will be minus 4. That's your value for y. Now part B, simplify this one. Let's see one by one. So first on top we have this equation. So we can factorize this. We take 15 out and we take w out. We have w minus 2 remaining. And for this one, what do we have? If you take 5 out, you will have this minus 4. And this is equal to 5 outside. Then you have w plus 2 and w minus 2. So replace back in this fraction. Simplify. This one goes away. This one is 5. This is 3. This becomes 3w divided by w plus 2. This is your fraction. Now to part C, it says the diagram shows the plan of a patio made from a rectangular paving slabs. Okay, the width of each slab is p. This is p, and the length is 20 longer than its width. That's the length. Now part 1, find an expression in terms of p for the area of one paving slab. Area will be length times width, which is p squared plus 20p. So p squared plus 20p for the area. Now for part 2, given that the area of the patio is this much, show that p satisfies the equation this. So now we know the area is given by this meter square. So how do you convert meter square to centimeter square? So we know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. Now for it to become square, we have to square both sides. Becomes this square. So 1 meter square is equal to 1212, so 10,000 centimeters square. So let's find out how do you find the area of the patio? You have to count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 7, that is 35 slabs. So 35 times this one, which is p squared plus 20p, should give you 12 point this times 10,000 centimeters square. Or you can just write this one for now. Let's just write this one for now. So 12.25, this is in terms of meter square. But if you do want to convert, because as you can see here, this value here is in terms of centimeter square, so you have to convert this one as well. So times 10,000 to make it centimeter square. Now let's simplify. So 12.25 divided by 35, that will be 0.35. So p squared plus 20 squared, 0.35 times 10,000. So we have p squared plus 20 squared p, 20p equal to, so 3500. So we have 4 zeros, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That will be this much. So in the end, we will have this minus this equal to 0. So shown as required. Now for part 3, solve by factorization. So factorize equal to 0. So p squared is p times p. Now what are the factors of 35? We know that this is equal to 7 times 5, right? So we know this is 70 times 50. So you write 70 here and 50 here. For it to become plus 20, you have to be plus 70 minus 50. So p will be minus 70 and p will be 50. So this will be the two values for p, but as we know, we can only choose the positive one, which is this one, for the real value of p. Hence state the length of each slab. Length will be p plus 20, which is 70. That's the length of the paving slab. Now question number 8, part A. So it seems to be a locus question. Let's see what we have to do. Okay. The scale drawing shows to be two coastal towns, A and B. So we have point A and point B on the drawing here. Now, this is very important. It says the scale of this drawing is 2 centimeters to 1 km. It means that 2 centimeters represent 1 km and 1 km represents 2 centimeters. That is the scale of this drawing. Now, part 1, we have to measure the bearing of B from A. So first thing you need to do is to join the points A and B. So let's join them and see how can we find the bearing of B from A. So first, joining the points A and B. And then once you have this line, you can go to your point A and measure the angle from the north line, from the north, and point A is in the center. We have to measure this angle. So this will be, for me, it shows to be about 114. So the angle for me is 114. So your value will be almost the same, 113, 115, should be around this value. Now part 2, draw the locus of points which is equidistant from A and B. So when you have equidistant from 2 points A and B, you have to draw the perpendicular bisector of A and B, line AB. So let's do that. So we have to use our compass. So you go to a point B, you measure a distance which is more than halfway of the line AB, and then you draw an arc on this side, arc on this side. Now go to point A, intersect the first arc and the other arc. Now you see that we have points of intersection here and here. So we have to join them to form the perpendicular bisector of line AB. So let's join them. So we have our answer for part 1. Okay, that is part 1. Now part 3, it says a rock C is known to be less than 4 km from B and nearer to A than B. Now when you have 4 km, as you can see, our scale is 1 km equal to 2 cm. So 4 km is equal to 8 cm from B. So let's use our ruler to measure 8 cm using our compass. So 8 will be about here, right? Now I go to point B. I have to draw an arc of a circle from this point. As you can see here, this is my locus from the point B, which is 8 cm, but less than 8 will be on this side, right? Now question here, it says construct and shade the region in which C must lie. So C has two conditions. The first condition, it is known to be less than 8. Less than 8, it will be inside of this circle, less than 8. Now the other condition, it must be nearer to A than to B. So A is here, B is here. Nearer to A will have to be on the left side on this red line. So merging these two conditions, you will find that C must be in this region, in this shaded region. This is where the value of C will lie. That will be your question, part A. Now part B, find the shortest distance between A and C. So whenever you see shortest distance, you have to know that you're looking for the perpendicular distance from A and C. So A and C, so C will be in this region. So what is the perpendicular distance? It will be this point right here. That will be the shortest distance. So let's measure that from A to C. It shows to be about 6 centimeters. So we need to find the actual value. So we know that 6 centimeters is equal to, using this scale, so 2 is 1, 6 will be 3 km. So 3 km will be the distance from A to C. Now part 4, a board D starts at the point 3.5 km due south of A. So when you see due south, it means exactly below A. Now 3.5 km using the scale will be 7 centimeters. So let's do that. So exactly below A will be 7 centimeters. So point A, 7 will be right here. That is where your point D is. So that's your point D. Exactly 7 centimeters below A. And then it says it sails on a bearing of 75. Okay, so how do you measure the bearing? So we first have to draw a north line on the point D. So north line. And then you measure the angle of 75. So go to your point D, and then 75 will be right here. So let's show the direction. So to point D to this point here, so that will be the direction in which D is going, and this angle here is 75 degrees. Now question is, draw the path and state with reason whether it is possible for D to collide with C. So you did the path is here, this is the direction. As you can see, D can go in this region, in this shaded region, so it will be possible. So you would say yes, it is possible, because D goes through, because it passed through or goes through the shaded region. Okay, that will be your answer for part 4. Okay, that is part A. Now part B, we have these two triangles, and this is also a right angle here. So question number 1 is we have to find the length of PR. So where is PR? PR is this one. So here we have PSR is a right angle triangle, so we can find this by using the Pythagoras theorem. So PR is equal to 8 square plus 5 square is equal to PR square. So PR square is equal to what? 8 square plus 5 square, that is 89. So PR will be square root of 89. That will be 9.43. 9.43 will be the value of PR. Now for part 2, find the shortest distance from S to PQ. From S to, S is here, to PQ. Now the shortest distance is always the perpendicular distance. It will have to be this distance. And this is 90 and 90. So how would you find this distance? Let's see what can we use in this case. So let's see, what do we know? We know this is 8 and we know this is 90. So what else can we know? Do we know this angle here? We can't know, because as you can see, this is 37, this is 90, this will have to be, this is the third angle of the triangle, this have to be 53, because we do 90 minus 37. Yeah, so this will be 37 here. So we have to find this distance. So we know this is a right angle. Let's call this one point X. So we have to find the distance SX. We know this is a right angle triangle. We know this side, we know this side, we're trying to find this side. So we can use SOHCAHTOA. So SOHCAHTOA. So we know this side, this is our hypotenuse side. So HH. We are trying to find this side, which is the adjacent side, which is A, this. So cos of the angle will be 37 equal to the adjacent side, which is SX, we don't know, over the hypotenuse, which is 8. Now find the value of SX. That will be 8 cos of 37. 8 cos of 37, that will be 6.389. So the shortest distance will be 6.39. That is part 2, and that is question number 8. Question number 9, so here we have two shapes, A and B, as you can see on the graph. Now part 1, find the gradient of the line of symmetry of triangle A. So first we have to find the line of symmetry. So if you observe, the triangle A has one line of symmetry. It will be in this direction. It cuts exactly into half. So this will be my line of symmetry. Okay, that will be my line of symmetry of this triangle A. So how do you find gradient of a line? So you can take 2 points. Let's take 2 points. We'll take this point here and this point here. So you will have 6, 0 and 0, 6. So 6, 0 and 0, 6. So to find the gradient, you will do y2 minus y1, so 6 minus 0 over x2 minus x1. You will have 6 over minus 6, which is minus 1. So the gradient of the line will be minus 1. Now part B, a triangle A is mapped onto triangle C by a reflection in the line of y equal to x. So let's do that. So first we have to draw this line, y equal to x, so we know the line will be in this direction. So this will be my line for y equal to x. Okay, let's label the line as well, y equal to x. So we have to reflect A onto that line. So let's count. We can count. This point is 1. That will be 1 will be right here. This is 1, 2, 1, 2 right here. 1, 2, 1, 2 right here. So here we have 3 points. Let's join them to form your triangle C for this reflection. Okay, so last line. There you go. That is your triangle C. Now what else? So this is done. Now part C, write down the equation of the line of symmetry of the octagon B, that is parallel to the y-axis. So y-axis, it is vertical, so we have to find this line of symmetry, which is also vertical of this B. So if you observe, here we have 1, 2, 3. 3 divided by 2, it will be 1.5. So 1.5 will be right here. So the line of symmetry will be in between, right here, vertical line, and it will be the point which is minus 2.5. So the equation will be y equal to minus 2.5, it needs to be vertical line. That's the part C. Now part D, state the order of rotational symmetry of the octagon B. So let's count how many sides are actually equal. So this side is equal to this side, this, and this. And then this is equal to this, this, and this. So we have 4 of this and 4 of this. In that case, it will be of order 4. Now part E, octagon B is mapped onto D by an enlargement of scale factor 2 and center minus 3, minus 3. Draw and label octagon D. So here we have 2 ways of doing this. One is basically doing a matrix times object equal to image. That's one method. And one we can just draw directly. So let's first find the center of enlargement, minus 3, minus 3. So what can we do here first? We can just continue the lines and see where minus 3 can be. This is the vertical line and this is our horizontal line. This is our minus 1 and the last one will be right here. Okay, so minus 3 will be this one. So this will be your center of enlargement and the scale factor is 2. So how do we do this? So we can first, let's do one by one. So from this center, let's first look at this point. So we have to move 1 to go to this point. So now the factor is 2, right? 2. So since we have to move 1, we take 1 times 2 is how much? Is 2. So 1, 2. This will become here. And for this one, we have to move 1. So times 2, 1, 2. And why do we times 2 again? Because of the scale factor is 2. That's why. Now for this one, we have to do 1, 2 times 2 will be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 will be right here. Now for this one, 1, 2 times 2, 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 will be right here. And for this, let's do this one first. 1, 2 times 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4 will be right here. And this one, 1, 2, 3, 4 will be right here. And same thing, 1 times 2 will be right here. And this will become 1. So 1, 2 will be right here. So you see all these red dots, so we have to join them together to form the shape of D. So just to recap, you have to first mark your center of enlargement, which is minus 3, which is right here. And then you take one point at a time. So this point you count from this center, have to move 1. So 1 square to the left. So I have to times 2. So because of the scale factor is 2, so 1 times 2 is 1, 2. So same thing happens for every point in this octagon. And then you will have this shape that you have to draw and label as D for the enlargement. Okay, so that will be question part E. Now we can move on to question part F. So don't forget to label your shape as D. D, right. Now let's move on to the next part. So here, what does it say? It says that a mat is made from 6. This is identical octagons. Each is similar. So this is very important here. Similar to B. Now 2 squares is shown here. This is of 2 squares in the sketch below. Now part 1, it says the length of the short side of the octagons are 15 centimeter each. So this line here is 15. 15, 15, 15. This is 15. This we don't know, but this is 15, right? Now let's see what are the questions. So part 1, it says calculate the area of one of these octagons. So here we have to use this information. It says it is similar to octagon B. So what is the area of B? So let's find out. As you can see, B here we have squares inside of B. So this is 1 and 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. So 1 square is 1 centimeter square. So let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 2 is half, so 6. half half 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So area of B, so we found that area of B is equal to 7 centimeters square. Right. Now, what is the area of this one? This one, let's call this B prime. So we can first compare the side, because if you go back to B, the side here is only 1, so B has side. So let's compare the side first. So B and B prime, B has side of 1, while B prime has side of 15. This is side, which is centimeters. Now, what is the ratio of area? Centimeters square. So we have to square both sides. 1 square, that will be 1. And what is 15 square? That will be 225. So since the area of B is 7, the area of B prime will be 7 times 225. That will be 1575 centimeters square. So part 1, answer will be 1575 centimeters square for the area of this one. Now, question part 2, it says find the length of a diagonal of one of the squares. So we have to find the length of one of these diagonals. Okay. So let's find out. So as you can see by observation, this is 15 as well. 15. So 15, 15. This also must be 15 and 15. 15 and 15. 15. Right, so the length of this diagonal will be 15 plus 15, that will be 30. So 30 centimeters. Now for part 3, calculate the total area of the mat. So the mat is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 octagons. So 6 times this area, 1575, plus we have 2 times the area of squares. Now, how do you find these areas? So we know the squares is like this. So we don't know the size, we know the diagonals is equal to 30. 30 and 30. So to find the area, we have to do 30 times 30 divided by 2 for one of them. And since we have 2 squares, we have to multiply by 2. So let's do that. 6 times 1575 plus 30 times 30. So 2 to cancel. That will be 10,350. So the area of the mat will be 10,350 centimeters square. And that is question number 9. Moving on to question number 10. So here we have a circle, center O, and we have points A, B, C, D on the circumference on the circle. Now, let's see. We have this is 2x. So you should know that 2x will be same as this one, 2x. And then angle at center is always twice the angle at circumference. This will be 4x. So let's move on to questions. So part 1, find BAC. So BAC will be 2x, right? And then find BOC. BOC will be 4x because it is angle at center is twice the angle at circumference. Now OCB, where's OCB? OCB will be this one. So you know this is the radius, this is also the radius. This will be 180 minus 4x divided by 2. That will be 90 minus 2x. So 90 minus 2x will be angle OCB. So part 2, calculate x when OB is equal to x and DEC equal to 123. So OBE is equal to x. So this angle here is equal to x. And the value of DEC, DEC is equal to 123. Okay, if this is 123, this is what? This is a straight line, so 180 minus 123 will be 57. So this will be 57. Right. Now, what else can we know? We know this is 4x. This here will be what? This angle here. This angle here will be 180 minus 4x. Right. Now, what is the sum of everything together? As you know, this is a triangle EOB. If you add everything, so here we have 180 minus 4x plus 57 and plus x. It should be giving you 180. That's the sum of all the three angles. Now let's solve for the value of x. So here we have minus 3x equal to minus 7. So x will be 57 divided by 3. That will be 19. So value of x will be 19 for this question. That is part A. Let's move on to part B. So in part B, we have a cross-section of a prism. It's a sector of a circle of radius 8 and angle 40. The prism is 20 centimeter long. Part 1, find the area of the cross-section. So formula, 40 degrees over 360 times 2, so the area will be pi r squared. That will be 1 over 9, so 1 over 9 times pi r squared. R squared is 8 squared. So 1 over 9 times pi times 8 squared. That will be 22.3. So 22.3 will be the area of that cross section. Now next question is to find the total surface area of that prism. So how many surfaces do we have in this prism? So we have one here, one in the back that you cannot see. And this is the base. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 surface. So this is 2 times. So 2 times the area of cross section. We have 2 times 22.3 plus what is the area on top? Will be 8 times 20 area on top. Top and bottom are the same. So 2 times 8 times 20. Because area on top and the bottom will be the same. And now, what is the area on the back, which is this curved surface? That will be, using angle again, that will be 40 degrees over 360 times 2 pi r times the height, h. So simplify. The first part will be 2 times 22.3 plus 2 times 8 times 20, that will be 364.6. And for this one, you have to add 1 over 9 times 2 pi r, which is 8, times h, which is 20. So answer, add 1 over 9 times 2 pi times 8 times 20. That will be 476.3. So your answer is 476.3. So the principle here is to count the number of sides and find the sides one by one. That's how you should do this one. So 476.3. That is part B of question number 10. So here we have question number 11. One day, two brothers, Zach and Tom, leave their home at different times. They meet at the library before going to the swimming pool. The travel graph represents Zach's journey to the swimming pool. That is only Zach's journey. So part 1, how much time does Zach spend at the library? So let's find out how much time he spent at the library. So to this point, so the time will be from this point to this point. This is 12:30 is here. So what is the value of 1 square? So we know this is 12 till 1 is 20 square. So 1 hour is 20 square. We know that this is 12:30. So 12:30, so 30 minutes is 10 square. So 1 square is 3 minutes. This will be 12:36. So 12:36 will be 2 squares. So here. So this time will be 1 o'clock minus 12:36. That will give you 24 minutes. So he was at the library for 24 minutes. Now part 2. Tom leaves their home at 12:30 and cycles to the library at 14 kilometers per hour. That's the speed at which he cycled. Calculate the time Tom arrives at the library. So first we have to find the time taken he arrives at the library. So distance from home to library is what? This is home, and library will be 3.5. So distance is equal to 3.5 km. So as you know, speed is equal to distance over time. So time will be distance over speed, which is 3.5 divided by 14. So 3.5 divided by 14 will be 0.25, that is hours, times 60 for minutes. That will be 15 minutes. So basically from this point, 12:30, it took 15 minutes. So 15 minutes, that will be how many squares? 5 squares will be here to arrive at the library. So it will be this point. So we have to join this with a straight line. Okay, this is the first part of the graph for Tom's journey. Okay, now moving on to part 3. How far is the swimming pool from the library? So what is these two distance here? Swimming pool is here, which is equal to 5.4, and this is 3.5, so that will be 5.4 minus 3.5 for the distance between the pool and the library. That will be 1.9 km for the distance in between. Now part 4. Zach stays at the swimming pool for an hour and a quarter, which is 1 hour and 15 minutes. He then walks home at a constant speed, arriving at 15:39. Complete his graph. So for the first part, he says Zach arrives at the pool and stays for 1 hour and 15 minutes. So let's do that. So first step, he stays, this is Zach's graph, this one. He stays for 1 hour. This is 1:30. So 1:30 plus 1 hour and 15, that will be 2:45. 45 will be here. So that will be until this point here, 2:45. Okay, so that's the time he remains, and then the next part is he then walks home at a constant speed, arriving at 15:39. So 15:39 will be where? So this is 15:30. 39 will be 1, 2, 3. That will be this point, because 1 square represents 3 minutes. That's why 15:39 will be at this point. So that's the rest of the graph. That's for Zach's journey. But then we have to calculate his speed in kilometers per hour. So let's find out. So what is the speed of Zach? So he left the, so the speed in this case is what? So here we have a distance time graph. The speed is the gradient of the graph, of the triangle. So this point is what? Let's find this point. This point is equal to, so we have to find the height. What is the height of this triangle? So let me first draw the triangle so you can see exactly which triangle I am referring to. So this is the triangle, the height, and this is the base. So let's find the height. The height of the triangle is 5.4 km. This is 5.4 km. And what is the base in terms of hours? So minutes, that will be, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then plus 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. That will be 18 squares times 3, because 1 square is 3 minutes, divide by 60 to convert this to hours. So 18 times 3 divided by 60. That will be 0.9 hours. So using these two values, you have to find your speed in km per hour. So we know the distance, height is 5.4 km, and the time taken is 0.9 hour. So that will be 5.4 divided by, that will be 6 km per hour for his speed back to home. Now for the last part, it says, part B, a bag contains 5 red counters, 6 blue counters, and 1 green. So red, blue, and green. Complete the pie chart to represent the data. So let's do one by one. For the red, it has 5 over. So in total, we have 12. So 12 times 360 for the angle of sector. That will be 150. Now let's see for the blue. Blue will be 6 over 12 times 360. That should give you 180. And the rest will be 1. So let's do one by one. So for the red, it will be 150. So go to this point here, the center, and measure 150 for your value of red. 150 will be about this point. So red will be on this line. So connect that. This is red, 150. And then blue will be 180. So you just go to the center as well, and then you have to measure 180, which will be on this point here. So you just have to connect these two. This will be 180 for blue. And the rest here will be just the value for green. Green will be 30 by subtraction. Now part 2, it says Ahmed takes a counter at random from the bag. Find the chance it is red. So red will be 5 over 12. That was pretty easy, right? Now part 3, Simon takes 2 counters at random from the bag of 12 counters. He places them next to each other on the table. Okay, find the chance that the 2 counters are of different colors. So if you want to, you can draw a tree diagram, but that is okay. You don't need to, but if you want to, you can do that. So you know all the possible combination. So they need to be of different colors. So it can be red. It can be red, blue, or it can be red, green, and then, or it can be let's say blue. It can be blue and green, or it can be that's it. Then we just have to times 2. Right, because we have 2. So let's say I have 2 next to each other. So if I have red here and blue here, it can also be blue and red. Right. Now if I have red and green here, it can also be green and red. So now if I have blue and green, it can also be green and blue. That's why we have to times 2 to this one. So let's do that. So red and blue. Red will be 5 over 12. Times blue, which is 6 over 11, or plus red will be 5 over 12 times green, which is 1 over 11, plus blue, that will be 6 over 12 times 1 over 11. Although this times 2 because of these different combinations. So let's do one by one. So 5 over 12 times 6 over 11 plus 5 over 12 times 1 over 11 plus 6 over 12 times 1 over 11 and times 2. That will be 41 over 66. Okay, so that will be the answer, and that is the last question of this paper. I hope that was somewhat helpful, and as always, thank you for watching, guys. And if you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.